Hello and welcome back here to Talk FCB, and welcome back to the channel. And once again here today we are going to be talking transfer talk. Now that's something that you can expect over the next few weeks, guys, in the next few months in fact. Lots and lots of transfer rumours, lots and lots of reports, and what we're going to be doing here basically is just sifting through it, having a look at what's been going around and seeing what is the truth and what is not. So one thing that I want to bring you today is a bid that Barcelona have reportedly made for a centre-back. It's not what you'd expect. It's not a big player. It's not a well-known player. It's actually a young lad who is currently at Las Palmas. Now, he goes by the name of Mauricio Lemos. And Barcelona, according to Canarias 7, that is the source that we're dealing with here, quite a big outlet in the Canaries, they are saying that Barcelona yesterday have made an offer to Las Palmas for €4 million for this player, and that bid was rejected. Now, it's also come out this morning because Sport, the Barcelona paper, is also doing a cover on this story. Come out this morning that Barcelona are expected to go back in with another offer to Las Palmas, and Las Palmas are willing to negotiate if the offer is too good to refuse. Now, as with many clubs in La Liga and as with many teams in Spain, the financial situation isn't brilliant. Even for us, we're having to take a lot of hits. But certainly for clubs like this, when they've got a young player, when they've got a promising player, they're much better, much more likely really to cash in on them, get the money, and then use it to invest in their all-around squad rather than just on one player. So certainly by an offer that they can't refuse. They're not talking mega bucks. This is not a team that is very, very rich. Las Palmas would certainly take whatever they could get, really, because what happened was, this is a player that actually joined them in January on loan from Rubin Kazan in Russia. And about a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they actually had a deal to make the deal permanent. So they've actually got this guy for €2 million. So already they're going to be making a profit on somebody they bought just a few weeks ago. When the loan was made from Rubin Kazan, there was an option in that loan which said that if they wanted to sign him on a permanent deal, they could do so for €2 million. And to be fair, though, €2 million though is an outlay for Las Palmas, so clearly they saw something in Lemos in that time. And what I will say is that Lemos came in to Las Palmas at the beginning of 2016, halfway through the season, and it's a bit of a correlation between that and also the fact they had a new manager in Quique Setien who's done an incredible job at Las Palmas. And in that time, from the start of the year till now, they've been an absolute revelation. They finished 11th in La Liga. A team that was down the bottom, a team that was struggling, has really emerged in recent months. Jonathan Vieira has been a big player there as well, but certainly Lemos has come in. What he's done is he's played 8 matches from the start. He's came on as sub in 2, so he's played in 10 games in La Liga since he joined in January, and he has been a very, very big part of that defence. He's been a very, very good stay in there. He's come in, he's only 20 years old, so a player that has certainly got youth on his side. He turned 20 in December, so still quite far off being 21. And I think what he has done, he's come into La Liga and he's shown that he can play here. He's shown that he can stay in the lineup, that he can be consistent. And what I will say is, I've not seen an awful lot of him, and I'm not sure that many people would have, because he's only been over here for 10 games. He's been in Russia for a lot of his career with Rubin Kazan, which of course so far has been a very, very short career. He came from Defensa Sporting. He came up through their youth system. That's a club in Uruguay. That's where he's from. He's a Uruguayan defender. But what I would say is quite interesting. I was looking at some reports on him a few minutes ago. He's a Uruguayan defender, as I mentioned, and he's made 22 appearances for Uruguay under-20 and 23 appearances for Uruguay's under-23 team. Now, this guy is just 20 years old. That's 45 appearances for Uruguay's underage team. So you've got to feel that at some point he is going to be called up to the Uruguay senior team. Of course, he's got incredible competition there. Diego Godin, Maria Jimenez in that team, centre-backs, fantastic players. So he's got competition, but that's pretty good reading there. And he didn't do much in Russia. Not really sure why he would have gone to Russia from Uruguay. Maybe, there was something available to him. But then he went on to Las Palmas. And like I say, since he's gone into that team, he's been really good. And he's been a really, really good player. What I would say, though, is what happens now in this deal is there was a comment yesterday from Las Palmas's director, their president. He said that Lemos is a Las Palmas player. He said if he stays, we will be delighted. If in the end we get an offer that we can't refuse, we will look at the best interests of the club and the player. He said the Barcelona offer is something which fills us with satisfaction, although for now they haven't met the economic expectations we are hoping for. Now that's what a Las Palmas director has told the source Canarias 7. They've reported that, so it does look as though we are interested in this player. Whether or not that bid is a concrete one, whether or not our interest is great, but it does look as though we are going to be interested in bringing this player in. I'm not really sure how it'll work out, what will happen, but certainly it's good to see that we're looking at young players, that we're looking at young talent, that we have been scouting players, and what we do need to start doing is getting good deals. And I know we've got La Masia, and I know all of that. That's fantastic. We've got to keep developing players there and bringing them through. I completely understand that. But what we've got to start doing is getting these players when they're young, when they're developing, and getting them for cheap prices. Because you see Bayern Munich doing it, you see other clubs doing it, where they get these players, the young ones that they've been scouting, and they get them for a good price. And you think that is good business. That is what a club needs to do to become sustainable, to become very, very good in the transfer market. You need to start being astute with some signing. Because of course we've got the money, of course we've got the attraction of signing the big names. But it's also a really important thing for us to start signing prospects and start bringing on players and making some money as well. So that's important. What it does say here, though, in this report is that the Gran Canaria report says that Las Palmas are expecting Barcelona to come back in with a new offer. They're expecting them to come back. Barca's offer, the first offer, was 4 million. And it says here that Las Palmas expect 12 million euros. That's what they want for this player. He's got a 30 million euro release clause. He's got a contract until 2021, which I say he's just signed. But what they want is 12 million euros, which is about £9 million. So certainly not huge money, and I said in yesterday's video when we were talking about Mustafi that I can see Barcelona this summer going out and spending a lot of money on an established player, but also spending a little bit of money on bringing in a youngster, and then we may see the likes of Vermaelen, possibly Bartra or Mathieu, both of them leave, 2 centre-backs leaving and 2 centre-backs joining. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops. But like I say, we don't know an awful lot about him. What I do know about him is that he's right-footed, he's quite quick, he's 6 foot tall, but so he's not exactly a man-mountain, but he's not small either. What he has got is good athleticism. Most young players coming through these days have got a nice bit about them. He's good positioning wise. He's very, very good there. Like I say, Las Palmas in the final stage of the season were really, really good. Not only going forward, but defensively they were really, really solid. So he was a big part of that, coming in and improving their defensive structure. I think it's good to see that he's come into La Liga as a young lad and really started to perform straight away without any need to adapt. He's only just come here for the first time, but straight away he's settled down. So that shows good adaptation and also the good mentality that he's got. Like I say though, it's just about really seeing how this develops. I just wanted to bring you the story really because it's quite an interesting one. We don't always see us going in for these types of players. We don't always see us scouting around for good deals. It does say here though, if Barcelona do come back in with 12 million euros, they would also want, Las Palmas would want us to loan him back for next season, which is interesting. So what would happen is we'd sign him, we'd get the deal done, he'd be our player, then we'd loan him back to Las Palmas for next season where he again can develop his game. And I think that's a really good idea actually, because he's made big strides in his career and he's made big strides in his development throughout this season when he's been at Las Palmas. If you give him another season there in La Liga, again, Las Palmas doing well, they're a good club, they're playing good football, let him stay there for another season, develop him then, and when he's 21, more experience in La Liga, developed as a player, he'll come back and possibly make an impact. But like I say guys, this is all pretty hypothetical. We know that a bid has possibly been made. We don't know whether we're going to go up to the 12 million that Las Palmas want. That's significantly lower than their 30 million release clause. And also another thing, just to throw this out there, this might make a lot of you maybe warm up to this guy. These are some pictures of him with Sergio Ramos in the game in March against Real Madrid. So I'll leave you with those. Make of it what you will. He's certainly a good judge of character, isn't he? But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like I say, over the summer there's going to be a lot of these sort of deals, rumours, everything going around in the media. Barcelona papers, Sport and MD have got a reputation for loving to do a transfer rumour that possibly isn't always true. So like I say, we're just going to be going through them. We don't know what the truth is or whether there's any substance behind them. But just bringing you this story today on what is a quite interesting young player. Somebody who's come into La Liga and embraced it, and it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys, not just on this player in particular, but in general, our transfer plans. Should we be looking to sign a really young defender for possibly a low fee to bring him in? I know a lot of people have mentioned Tarin of Barcelona B. He's another player that could possibly do a job in possibly another year or so. Possibly if we use him on pre-season, we'll see how he develops. But let me know your your thoughts down below on all these things, really. Interested to hear what you've got to say. And as always, guys, it's been a pleasure today to do the video. I will see you very, very soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça!